Risk, the game all about world domination, right? Not today. Instead of simply steamrolling the entire map, we're going to attempt to win the game by completing side quests in one of Risk's newer modes, Secret Missions. Each player will be dealt a random quest ranging from eliminating a specific opponent to crazy tasks like holding two opposite continents simultaneously. And the best part? No one else knows what you're trying to do, so the game could end at seemingly any moment regardless of who seems most in control at the time. So, let's start the game and jump right into chaos. Alright, that was a long time of waiting, but we're finally in. So I basically picked all the defaults for settings. We've got Africa and Asia, so at least they are kind of adjacent, though conquering Asia is always a challenge, and normally you'd only do that in the late game if you're in complete control. So basically it is asking me to be in complete control. Looking at my starting units, almost everything in the southern hemisphere, so white picking off North America. I've got the majority of South America and a good spot for Australia as well. So I imagine my strategy will be take Australia and then push out from there. I could get both of these continents at the same time. Oh, okay. Lost several troops from yellow. But if I was able to hold both of these two continents, that would be +4. So I'd be kind of on par with anyone who took North America or a continent of that size. Right, also conscious of trying to work out what the other players are doing. So if I see someone targeting one player very aggressively, I would assume that is their thing. Let's read what the missions are. So North America, Australia, they're really going for Europe, so potentially they've got Europe and Australia, which could make me a target later. Or maybe they're just going for territories. Okay, other pairs of continents, we've got 28 territories, just conscious of my time, I shouldn't spend too long reading this. And then destroying everyone. Okay, 4 troops. We should be able to win that, and then we'd want 4 for this, so at least 2. I think I'm going to put 3 down, gives me 1 more. I would like to give red a way out if they want to let me have that, but I think I'll probably fortify there. You know what, I'm going to go all in Australia. So, plow through and should be able to... Oh gosh. That was unfortunate. There we go, and then I think I can hold that, so I'm going to... Oh, okay, ran out of time. So missed my fortification stage. I was thinking of moving up from Argentina, but that is fine. I'm in a strong place here. Wow. Lucky with their dice. Just really need to hope that no one else has an objective that gets in my way, because I don't want to be stepping on my opponent's toes too much. Hopefully they can just leave me to it. So I'm going to try and be a detective and work out what they're plotting as well. We do have a lot of continent grabbing going on, so potentially their task is to get continents like we have, or maybe they're just going for territories. I haven't got any hunches yet of a player being given another player to target and wipe out, but potentially we'll see that in future turns. Okay, back around to us. We should get 5 because 3 for having less than 12 troops and then 2 for that. I actually want to go from the Argentina just because I can only fortify once, and otherwise I'd be stuck here, not being able to move out. So I'm going to, move in and then fortify up. It is asking for a learn alliance. I'm going to go for that. Hopefully that means we can leave these borders, so I'd be willing to move away, maybe match them on 3. I did make the alliance after I fortified there, because that was what made sense at the time, so I hope they don't get too aggressive over that. And already 4 of the 6 continents taken. Ooh, okay. They throw everything into me, but are unsuccessful. So it looks like they'll be breaking Europe. Right, really indecisive, interestingly. I'm also worried, I don't know what happens if I wipe out one of the players and that is someone else's objective. Do they win because I've done that? I assume so. So, unless I'm certain I've got everyone else's objectives, then I don't really want to be wiping out everyone else. You'll notice that I do have 2 continents. My task was to get 2 continents, and you may be wondering why I haven't gone for those. Really, this was just kind of opportune taking. So I started with a lot of troops in this area, a lot of troops in this area. And that's not a strategy that I bring into every game. I don't always go. There are some players who always go for Australia. This was just, it did seem to make the most sense because that's where all of my troops were. And even as the last player, no one had fought for it. So I'm being asked to attack red. Their turn is quite a bit later, so I don't necessarily need to do that. I can rely on one of the others to do so. I may just pretend I haven't seen that and probably just work on getting myself a strong position. So actually, I'm going to go into it. I'm going to form a strong ally, so hopefully they'll see that I'm going with what they want. I'll break in even more, and then I'm going to fortify up to 5. So hopefully white likes me for that. Okay, even so, after I just did what they said, they've increased the units and our borders. I started my invasion of Africa. So I think pretty much for me, I just play this like world domination. I just go through and try and take as much of this as I can, because by the time I have Africa and Asia, then I can give up South America, that's fine, but I'm going to have to hold this as well. Oh, I will be the strongest player and I'd win anyway. So I just need to hope and try and work out what other people are going for, such that I don't let them win before I can do so. But I think really my task is just be the strongest player and use that advantage to take the continents that I need to. Right, red being able to trade, so looking like I hope they don't get too vengeful in the fact that I broke them. Be wonderful if they just fortified across and Okay, no, they are going for me. They'll break into South America. Yep. And then they've left themselves open again, which is interesting. So, pretty silly. They've just given white a huge advantage by doing that. Right, so I'm able to trade, but it's only for 4. So I'm going to save in hopes that I get cavalry and artillery. So, assuming... No, I'm not going to attack red again. I'm just going to simply move there and hope that white honour the alliance. Was that another infantry? Okay, I will need to trade next turn because there's no way I can get a different set from 4 infantry. Pretty unlucky. I should tell them to attack red if they're relying on me to do so. Oh, they're all going for yellow. Okay. So it doesn't appear that that was anyone's task because the game has not ended. 3 territory cards, that is big. I'm going to try and make an alliance with red because we have let them get far too strong. I hope that red doesn't hold my invasion into them too heavily against me. We'll just trade for 4, but fortunately we get 2 in Eastern Australia. I'm really tempted to break white. I know that that wouldn't be going for my objective too much. I'd be leaving that for later. Do I just go and try and take Africa? Do I move out? I'd be leaving this really vulnerable, so I'd be giving them 2 continents. Okay, my time is running out. I think I will just go into Africa and end it there. Right, white's starting with 10, so that's 5 from having over 15 and another 5 from having North America. They've been given another 10. So just checking that red and I are on the same page that this is the enemy. Just going to make it clear to white that that's not approved for an alliance. And what might their objective be? So white could just be doing what I was doing and taking what's a continent that they were kind of gifted by the placement at the beginning. But if they were going for North America, they could also be looking at Australia, where I am, or Africa. So that is quite concerning if they already have a decent hold. They took a lot of Africa earlier, though I recognise that was taking out yellow, so it doesn't say that too much, but also being aware if they do start sending 2s everywhere, I'll be concerned about this. And if they're just going for territories, then another 7 will give them the win. So I don't feel like I have too much intel about what they're actually trying to do at the moment, but should kind of be cautious of any of those. I'm going to fortify my 3 there. I know it's not enough to completely hold it, but I hope that that's enough. What might have been better is putting everything in Egypt. It would give them a path through, so I guarantee that I didn't get this, but I'm worried I'm not going to get Africa anyway. Okay, we actually have a decent trade next turn, which is useful, so can factor in another 10. I'm assuming I won't get this, so just the 10. And actually, Asia isn't too much out of my reach. Interestingly, okay, white are offline. That is back on again, but I guess they just had poor signal. Red has put 10 in Asia, which is not good in the sense that I want to take it, but I'm wondering if they're... Okay, if they fortify back, I think I may have a chance of winning. 9 troops, 5 from having these 2 continents, and 4 from having more than 12. I'll trade in, and that's another 10 usable, because 2 of them went there. So even though it didn't seem like I was in the strongest position, still behind on units, then I've got this right, haven't I? Yeah, Africa and Asia. And that is the game. And that's exactly how we do it on Gimli's Forge. Now, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that we've already dived deep into the world of Polytopia. And this was my first video on Risk, but certainly not the last. I've got plans for more Polytopia, more Risk, and more tactical fun any true strategist will enjoy. So check out my channel to see what's already in store for you, and subscribe for all that's to come. I'll see you in the next one.